Hey my lovelies, welcome back to my channel, and it is a new week for the nail team glitters of the week, and here is my first design video using one of those glitters. So if you'd like to see which of the glitters I am using and exactly how I created this set, then please keep watching. So I'm working on Miss Liza, my red iguana hand, and I've applied the gem stiletto tips and cut them down to more of a short to medium, almost tapered square length. I'm using all the Gems acrylic system as always, and first up we have got Crystal Clear. I have then got Bella Rose. This is a beautiful sparkly cover peach. It's a really pretty one, not one I've used very often. I'm going to get a touch of silver using Elena. This was from the 'Tis the Season collection. I'm using these silver shards. They're not available anymore, I'm afraid, but they are really, really pretty. And the star of this design from the Yummy collection, I am using Blueberry Pie. This is this really beautiful, almost navy matte glitter. It's really, really pretty. So just going to give these nails a good clean over, and then I'm going to go in with the Crystal Clear for my thin clear base. I'm using the entire Gems system, so Melody Monomer, and I am using the size 10 Kate brush for this design. So just going to get this thin clear base down, and then we will get into the design. So I knew I wanted to do colour blocking in this design, but then the rest I wanted to be fairly simple, where this blueberry glitter was sort of the main focus. So I'm going to start off on the middle finger with my first block for my colour block, and this is that beautiful Bella Rose. And I'm applying this at the cuticle, and then I'm doing it on an angle for my first block of colour. So I'm using my brush just to push that to a nice straight line. I'm not worrying about apex or structure here. I'm going to add all of that at the end, as you've seen me do with my colour blocks recently. And just while that's set slightly, I'm just going to do just a touch of this on the index finger, just the nail bed, just to give it a little bit of a cover colour with that beautiful shimmer. Now that block is semi-set, I'm going to come in with my craft knife to cut away the excess, so I've got a nice straight line. Remember, if you're not confident using a craft knife, you could use some string, some dental floss, or you could just file. I also did Bella Rose at the cuticle on the pinky, and now I'm going in with Elena just at the tip and blending that down to just a slight ombre, but I'm going to be adding the glitters as well, and exactly the same on that index finger. Teeny tiny bead, and I've just blended it back. This is such a pigmented acrylic. It is really, really pretty, but I thought it would go really, really nicely with the glitter. And here it is. For the next block on my colour block nail, I'm going to do sort of a triangle using this glitter. So I've picked it up with the clear acrylic, and now I'm just getting the shape of my next triangle and sort of alternate the way it goes, so it's almost a zigzag. So I'm just patting this down, keeping it nice and flat, because I will need to encapsulate this block. I will need to encapsulate all of these, but I like to encapsulate any glitters before I do the next block of colour, because I can slice it into that clear acrylic to get that nice straight line. Just going to let it set in place before I encapsulate, and now I'm going to add a little touch on my two ombre nails, just over the blend, just fading it over that Elena colour slightly. I don't want to fully cover the silver because I'm going to add some of those shards in as well, but the focus really is the blueberry glitter. And then on the ring finger, I am doing near enough a full nail, say a 2/3 nail, and I'm just going to fade it out ever so slightly towards the tip, and I'm going to add some of those silver shards. So first things first, you know, I always like to get a nice neat cuticle line, and once I'm happy with that, I'll start bringing the product down the nail. Keep it nice and flat because it does need encapsulating, and then I feather it out ever so slightly, just so it doesn't just stop. I've got a bit of a soft ending to it, shall we say. And then just doing exactly the same on the index finger as I did on the pinky, and then I will go back and encapsulate that glitter block on my Colourblock nail and trim away with my craft knife, just like I did with the cover powder, just to get a nice straight line. So while the clear acrylic on my Colourblock sets, I'm just going to add some of those silver shards just to the very tip of the other nails. Now these are not soft glitter shards, they are almost like chips of very thin metal. So these are things you want to be encapsulating. You can get a tray similar to these of all different sort of metal colours, but you definitely want to encapsulate these and really pat them in to sort of that wet acrylic to stick them in place. I don't want full coverage, I just want sort of just a few here and there, and I'm just blending that into that blueberry pie on that full nail, and just over top of the Elena acrylic, and again blending that into the glitter. Now back to the final segment of my Colourblock nail. I'm just going to add a little wash of Elena just as background colour, and then I'm just going to go over top with some of those shards. Make sure I get right up into any little wings, nooks and crannies, and then I'm just going to pat those shards into the wet acrylic. Again, I want to see the acrylic through, so I don't want full coverage of these shards. I want you to be able to see that there are shardy shapes. Does that make sense? I don't know. And now I'm ready to encapsulate this entire design. So I would check over the Colourblock nail and see where it needs encapsulating. It definitely needs encapsulating with that last block, and probably a little bit with the first two blocks. Encapsulate all of the other nails, make sure they are fully covered in clear acrylic, and then file these to shape, and then I'm ready to finish this design off. My first video using this week's yummy glitter collection. So we've got them all filed to shape now. They are starting to come together. So I'm going to give these a really, really good wipe over, get rid of any dust, fluff, any little bits of oils or stickiness or anything I don't want in the finished nails. And this is one of those designs where you could leave it as it is, but I wanted to add just a little touch of bling. So I went into my little charm box of Sheen charms and I picked out this silver butterfly, and I'm going to add some blue and AB clear crystals. So I'm actually using Felicity Flex to apply these crystals. I did it in my last video, and I'm quite liking it. I've done it on my own and they are holding really well. So I've just picked up a little blob using my crystal pickup tool, and then just spread it slightly, and then place my little butterfly where I want it. I just need to hold it in place because otherwise it's going to slip and slide everywhere. And then I'm going to bring my little flash curing torch in so I can really hold that in place. It's not fully held in place, it's just enough that I can apply the rest of the crystals without that moving. And then I'm going to do a little bit of a swoosh. You know me and my swooshies. So I'm sort of going to come down from the butterfly tail and then up from his little like head and antennae, and I'm just alternating between blue and clear crystals, again using Felicity Flex. Flash cure those and then do exactly the same here, as you can see, where I'm putting that little bit of Felicity. Don't need loads, just enough to stick it in place. I'm using it like I'd use the Crystal Nails gem glue, and once they're all in place I'm going to fully cure this for 60 seconds, and then it's time for Miss Tina Top. And we are going to top coat all of these nails. This is my favourite part of any design. This is where it really wakes it up and we can see all those different glitters and the shimmers and those silver shards, and even the shimmer in that silver acrylic just shows sort of all the depth. I'm going to use a little detail brush to get in and around all of those crystals, so I don't go over top of them, but I just get right into any little nooks and crannies. Felicity Flex does have a tacky finish to it, so I want to make sure I cover any little bits of Felicity that you can see around the nails and that charm with Tina Top, and it's also using it as sort of an extra layer to help bond and secure all of those charms and crystals in place. Just going back where I smudged that top coat slightly. And once I've finished applying the top coat, I'm going to cure these for a full 60 seconds and this design is done. And here we have them all finished, and what do you think of this design? I liked how this one turned out. It's quite a simple one. I love the colour of that glitter. It is a beautiful collection, the Yummy glitters. So do make sure you check out my Instagram, my Facebook for more designs and swatches, although I did upload a short on my channel at the beginning of the week with my swatches, and I am doing that every week, so you do get to see the whole glitter collection. But that's my first video with the Yummy collection glitters this week. So as always, I will pop all the product details in the description box. Don't forget you can use my code Helen5 for 5% off at the Nail Team, which is where 95% of the products are from. I would love it if you'd give this video a thumbs up, and I'd love it even more if you'd click that subscribe button if you haven't already. Don't forget you can leave me any comments down below. I love to hear from you all, any requests or suggestions. But I'm going to sign off here, and I will see you in another video using the Yummy glitters in a couple of days. Thank you so much for watching. Bye. Mwah.